Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thousands of memories are created and captured in each photo taken on your magical vacation. We proudly present Capturing Magic, where we help those moments live on forever.
Hey everyone, welcome to Capturing Magic, where we are using technology to create and capture magic memories. This is episode 25, recorded on Tuesday, March 19th, 2013. You can find more tips, tools, and notes for this show at capturingmagic.me. I'm Steph, and I'm joined by my co-host Brittney Leavitt, who can be found at britishdesigns.com, where she has digital scrapbooking supplies. Hi, Britt.
Hi everybody.
Yeah. We also have joining us here today. We're doing good. We're good. We have here joining us today for the very first time our guest, Stephanie Haining, who is a listener and also a reader at capturingmagic.com. And I've been able to get acquainted with her through emails back and forth, which has been super fun. Hi, Stephanie.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. We normally have a much smoother start to our show today. We've been a little giggly and a little silly, but we're getting there.
It's all good fun.
It is.
Oh, brother.
So you are a Disney fan and a Disney scrapbooker, right?
That is correct.
And you can be found, we'll put a link in our show notes actually up for you have a Ning site where you post a lot of your layouts and projects and stuff on DisneyScrappers.ning, right?
Yes, I'm part of that group, and so that's where my gallery is.
Yeah. And then you also have an Etsy store.
Yes, where I have some are Disney-ish, but just kind of custom word books where each letter is a different page in the book. So it makes for fun memory albums, autograph books, whatever you want it to be kind of a thing.
That would be a fun autograph book, actually. Like have magic or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. So we'll put links up to both of those in our show notes for today, and people can go check out your stuff. Yeah. So, okay, let's jump into our topic, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
I'm
ready?
so excited.
I'm excited too. This is going to be really fun. And I would like to ask all of our listeners too, as you're listening and you think of your own ideas to share, please come share them in the show notes. We would love to hear, because today we are going to be doing a magical story hour where we are going to share some of our magic moments that we've had in the parks as we've been visiting, and it will probably give you some ideas of some extra things that happen and maybe some of your own magical memories that you would love to share with us, and we would love to hear them. So just head over to capturingmagic.me and click on the podcast button and leave a comment in today's show notes. We would love to hear. So, okay, I'm going to jump in first with my very first one that I was going to share, and let's see, which one do I want to start with? There's so many. And magic moments at Disney, I guess maybe we need to talk about what that is a little bit first. For people that maybe are getting ready for their first trip, when you're at Disneyland or Disney World, there are a lot of times where something happens that's just extra special. And you know that was magic. It's just magic and it's extra special, and not everybody maybe gets it, or it's something that just happened that was significant for your family. And those are magic moments because they're just extra special. So that's what we're going to be sharing today. Is that a good way of putting it? Britt, do you have any other?
I think that's a great way to say it.
Okay.
That's what it is for me, at least.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is for other people, but that's how I would describe it.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one that I wanted to share was when we were in Disney World over Christmas this past year. It was our last night there, and we were moving from Hollywood Studios, where we had gone to see the Osborne Lights one more time because they are so spectacular, and I really couldn't have too much time there. And so we had gone there to Hollywood Studios to see the Osborne Lights one more time, and then we're moving over to the Magic Kingdom because it was going to be extra magic hours that night. And we were staying on site that night. And so we moved over, and right as we got off the monorail and walked down the ramp, the fireworks started. And in the Magic Kingdom, unlike Disneyland, there's right before you go in the security booths, there's an area where you can stand, and it's like a big flower bed, but people can't stand right in front of you. And it's a great place to get a shot of the train station and everything right there. And so it was dark, and the fireworks were going off above the train station. And so I just dropped everything, grabbed my camera, and started taking pictures of the train station with the fireworks above them. And then my husband ran in with our daughter and stood in front of the train station there and in front of the Mickey and the flower bed. And so I was able to get pictures of them too with the fireworks going off. And that was just totally magical because it was unplanned, but it was like, it couldn't have been more perfect even if I would have planned it. It wouldn't have gone that well. So I have some great photos, and I've put some on Capturing Magic before, right around Christmas time, that I shared that it was just, I love them. I love those photos. It worked out perfectly. So
that's the great thing about those. I love those magical moments that like you could not have planned it. Like it's the right place, right time.
Yep, exactly. You know? Exactly. Yep, perfect. Okay, go ahead with your first memory, magic memory.
Gosh, I'm really having a hard time choosing which ones to tell. Okay, let's see. Since we're talking about right place, right time. So it was 2008 when they were doing the Year of a Million Dreams.
Yeah.
At Disneyland. That was like the theme for the year.
They did it at both parks.
Huh?
They did it at both parks.
Yeah.
Disneyland and Disney World, yeah.
And they were giving out I call them dream ears. I don't really know what they were really called, but where they would have these Mickey ears that cast members would just be handing out like at just random places throughout the park, and you couldn't buy them. They were only like just, you had to be in the right place at the right time. And Josh and I, we always wear our ears. Ears are a big deal for us when we go to Disneyland. And so I really wanted these dream ears because they're super cute. Like they're blue and white clouds on the cute hat part, and then the ears are silver, and they're so cute. And I just really wanted them. And we had been a few times during the Year of a Million Dreams, and we were never able to find them where they were. And we'd like see people walking with them, like a whole group of people were like all walking away with them. We're like, oh, they must be over there. So we'd like run over to where these people were, and then they would just be, giving out their last one. And so it was like, it eluded us to get these dream ears. We just couldn't do it. And so we were on a trip in March with my family and Josh's family, just like a ton of people, a big, huge group. And we kind of had everybody on the lookout for dream ears, but I kind of was past the point of getting my hopes up at this point, but I just still really wanted them. And so we were in line for the Astro Orbiter, and we were almost to the front of the line. And it's like, if you know what the line is like, it kind of goes like down where the walls kind of get higher above you. So you're kind of down below ground level a little bit trying to get into the ride. So we were down below like where people were walking. And so we could kind of see just people walking by. And all of a sudden we see these people just like walking one after one person, like having dream ears. And we're like, there's gotta be a person right there where we can't see, like back behind that rock giving out dream ears. There's gotta be a person right there. Cause they'd go in without them and come out with ears. So my whole entire group, and I'm talking like 20 people, start bailing out of this line,
climbing the
jumping
fence
over this railing, which is I'm sure not allowed. So we are bailing out of this line, jumping over this wall, like one after another. And I am, of course, like struggling to get myself up over this wall and out. And so we all go like booking over to where we hope that these ears are. And sure enough, there's like a cast member with this huge stack of ears, and she gives us all one. I think only like maybe 3 people in our group didn't get them because they didn't have enough.
Oh, shoot.
But we all got these dream ears, and I have this great picture of us afterwards, like having our dream ears with like the goofiest, geekiest smiles on, just because it was like we finally were able to get our ears. And I'm sure the people in line with us at the Astro Orbiter were like, what is going on? Because we all just like tore out of the line and like bailed over this railing. And yeah, and then we all got back in line and rode the Astro Orbiter with our ears on, and we like took up the whole ride, the whole Astro Orbiter, all with our new ears.
Funny.
And so it was just magical because we finally got our dream ears, and then like we still sort of sometimes take them to the park with us and wear them, and people always ask us where we got them. We're like, oh well, we got them back in 2008 when you couldn't really buy them. Right. So anyway. it was like a success and such a magical moment. And I think the reason it's so magical to me is because I just have this funny visual of like our whole group just bailing out of this line and like booking toward where we think we could maybe get ears. Because we were never lucky enough to be one of those people who's just walking past the people, you know?
Right.
Like, normal people get them that way, but not us.
That's really funny. I think the Year of a Million Dreams was 2007 because we were in Disney World that year.
Well, it was like 2007 and then part of 2008. Like it
through
extended.
January. They did. They extended it for a couple months, didn't they? And I was so hoping they were going to keep it forever because I loved it.
It was the best.
It was so fun to have. They would just rent, or they would give out fast passes. Or,
yes.
Yeah. Yep.
I was hoping for the night in the Dream Suite down at Disney. I was like waiting.
That was like, of course, I didn't even want to hope for that because that was just every time I heard of somebody getting that, I'm like, my neighbor got that. My neighbor told me the other day, like we were at church and she was like, you live Disneyland, right? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, let me tell you this story. And they got to do that. Like they were that family who got picked. I was like, shut the front door. Are you serious? And they were like, why is that so cool? I'm like, they didn't even realize really what they got.
Oh,
I was like dying. Anyway,
a bummer.
There was people that, and you could see them. They had their special like little blue shirts on.
Yes.
And my husband and I were like our last morning there one day, and they were standing near the statue, and I'm like, okay, they give out stuff. And we ended up like having a lovely conversation with this woman, and she was giving us all this wonderful detailed information about the Walt Disney statue and some interesting tidbits and facts about it. And I'm kind of like,
Give me
like
something.
a little kid. I know, in the back of my mind, I'm kind of like, and where's my toy?
Yeah, give me my dream. I want my
And
dream.
finally, I was like, okay, clearly I just am not meeting whatever little special magical thing needs to happen, and we need to walk away now.
Yeah, because sometimes they did have, which I'll share later, something they did have requirements that you had to meet in order to be picked.
Yep.
Apparently, I was just a little too eager.
They're like, not for you.
Yeah.
Hey, Stephanie, one of the things that I forgot to do again, because it's new, but one of the things that we want to start doing is with our guests, have you share if you have a home park, like which park you go to more than the other, and then also who you typically go to the parks with.
Okay. Do you want me to do that now?
Yes, do that now, please. Because I forgot at the beginning, and then you can share your first magic story.
Okay. Mine is probably it is Disneyland. I've never been to Disney World. It's on the I want to go there list. And I typically go with family. So now it's my husband and my 2-year-old.
Because there were several trips that were just you and your husband, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of it looks pretty much every year since we've been married except for one, we've gone once. And because my family, especially my mom's side, big Disney fans, he grew up on the other side of the country and had only been to Disneyland once. So that was an interesting moment when we were planning our first trip in 2005. And he looked at me and said the sweetest little thing. Do they still have ticket books?
Oh. In 2005, you're like,
yeah. Like, not only do they not have ticket books, they have these neat little things called fast passes. So he learned right away how very cool those are.
Yeah.
So he appreciates it for the kind of walking through being with an engineering and computer background, where he looks at it and goes, a lot of very smart people were allowed to do their jobs well.
Yeah.
Is how he looks at it. So he enjoys it. So
yeah.
But I guess my first was we took our son for the first time last January. So he was about 15 months old. And so it was just so much fun to take him for his first trip and, do all the stuff through a little kid's eyes that you kind of take for granted and stuff. And so we did a character meal. And he was fabulous with the characters because he's a pretty laid-back kid, but you never know.
Yeah, you don't.
You just never know. And so he did really well, and we did the character breakfast at the Plaza Inn our first morning there, and he was doing fabulous. I mean, we had Max was coming over, and we had Minnie and Chip and/or Dale and Eeyore, and doing great. The two that just through him were Rafiki, which we totally understood, But the one that threw us
creepy looking.
Yeah.
was the fairy godmother. For some reason, he was just not having any part of her. And like, and I think she was a little bit more taken aback by it.
Right. Who doesn't love the fairy godmother?
She was kind of like, really? I mean, she's very good. She just kind of went around, didn't push it, walked on her way and stuff. We're kind of like, we're really sorry. We don't understand. But yeah, he did great with the rides. And probably the best from that trip was the different pictures we got. We got the obligatory passed out cold on somebody's shoulder being walked back for a nap.
Yeah.
And then my husband is a really good sport. I had this idea for a photo that I had heard, it's not an original, but to stand in front of the partner statue, making that pose. So he's wearing his little Mickey ears and he's holding my husband's hand. And so they look super adorable.
Cute.
In which
Adorable.
using the continuous button on the camera really helps to get that shot. The outtakes are hysterical. And then the favorite, though, is a completely candid, magical one. We were in Toontown. We had just gone to see Mickey and gone through the house. And he's still wearing his little Mickey ears. And he and my husband are walking in front of me, and they're holding hand in hand. And, it's got the shadow and everything. And so I just snapped the photo from behind them. So you just see them from behind walking. And it's just the sweetest picture ever.
Cute.
Oh, I love those.
I'm slightly biased, but I think it's the sweetest picture.
Perfect. I love that. You're going to have to send us photos to include in the post.
Okay.
Yeah. You need
For
those.
sure. Okay, my next magic story. I'm going to go with the Year of a Million Dreams. And we were in Disney World that year, and we had just rode Peter Pan. And as we were coming off, my son said, I love that ride. I want to do it again. And out popped a Year of the Million Dreams person and said, did you just say you want to do that ride again?
Oh.
And he said, yes. And she said, how would you like to be an honorary Lost Boy for the day? And so they gave him a certificate and wrote his name on it right there and made him take the Lost Boy pledge right there. And then we got to go to the very front of the line and ride the ride again.
I have goosebumps right now.
I know. It was so amazing. And I was snapping pictures as fast and furiously as I could. And we still have his little certificate from that. So
That's so cool. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's adorable.
yeah, it was totally magical. And we just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And he happened to say the right thing.
Yeah. They're like waiting in the bushes for someone to say, I want to ride that again.
For some little boy to say that. Because,
We'd be like getting our kids after every single ride, say it really loud.
Do you want to ride that again? Yes, I want to. Yeah, because it can be a long wait for that ride.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah. Okay, Britt.
For sure. Okay, mine is another one from the Year of a Million Dreams. Like, this is the reason they need to bring the Year of a Million
Yes.
Dreams back, because
Most memorable.
it's the most memorable. I have the most stories from that. But okay, so we were there a day early. My whole family was coming. It's the same trip as I was talking about before. My whole family was coming. Josh and I were there a day early because we like to have at least one day just with the two of us. And we were walking through Adventureland, and we were looking up at the Dream Suite, kind of talking about, oh gosh, how cool would it be to be able to go there, whatever. And we noticed that there seemed to be people going in and out of the Dream Suite. And we were like, just curious to what was going on. So we went over and we found this cast member who had a clipboard. We're like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, well, we're touring vacation club members through the Dream Suite if they signed up, to go through a tour. And we're like, oh, I wish we could go through a tour. And he's like, are you vacation club members? We're like, no. And he's like, are you I Know Pass holders? And we're like, yes. And he's like, stand right here. Let me see what I can do. We're like, what? So we just stood there for a while, and he left. And then we were just like, I was trying not to freak out because we've never seen it. I mean, there was like a few promotional pictures out there, but we didn't really know, what to expect. So we were just standing there, and then they come back and he's like, okay, if you can come back at this time, it was like in a couple hours or something. It was late at night, but he's like, if you can come back in a couple hours, I can get you in on this tour. We were like, oh my gosh, are you serious? He's like, yeah. So we like freaked out. We went off. It was like the next best thing to getting to stay there, just being able to go on a tour through it. So we came back and they had our names on a list. And so we got to go and walk through and have this whole tour of the Dream Suite, and we could take pictures and sit, like, it was just incredible. I was like dying. So we got to go through the whole thing and see the bedrooms. There are a couple of bedrooms that you just get to go to the door and look in. You didn't get to like go in the room. But then the main, like the master suite, you got to go in through that room and see like the tub and all that stuff. And they showed you all the little magical moments that happen while you're in the suite. Like there are little things that happen throughout your night when you get to stay there. So they showed us all those. And then we got to go out on the patio where they have like the little fireflies, kind of like in Pirates of the Caribbean. Well, exactly like in Pirates of the Caribbean, that like swing, in the night, like in the bushes. And it was absolutely incredible. And I will never forget it. And it was just because we happened to like go up and ask, and like the guy just let us do it. It was incredible. I have a picture of me like calling my mom and telling her, and I'm like, I'm on the phone and I'm like, Mom, guess what we're getting to do right now? And we were just so excited. So it was magical and wonderful. Yay.
That's one trick that I've learned for sure is just ask.
Yep. It will be surprised what you get when you.
It's the truth.
Just ask.
It's the truth. Okay, Stephanie.
This is from our most recent trip, which was last January, because it was also my birthday.
Yay!
And so it was pretty funny. It started, when you check in, we splurged and we're at the Grand Californian, and so it was so funny. They gave out the buttons, and so my son got the first visit, and they make up mine for my birthday, and then I guess they kind of felt bad for my husband, so he gets the I'm celebrating one. So they all have, everyone has a button. And it was just so much different, when you had, we've been there for our anniversary and everyone wishes you happy anniversary when you have the button on. And so everybody's saying happy birthday to me. And, I got my birthday ears embroidered. And then we had dinner one night in California Adventure, and the waitress brought me over this, mini little bundt cake with a candle in it. As my dessert. And then what was really sweet, because my family, big Disney fans, my cousins, because we were the type of people that have like Disney dining and deliver ears in our phones programmed all the time, we got back to our room. I think it was the night before my birthday, and there was a big platter of cookies and a pitcher with a carafe of milk in it and a card wishing me happy birthday from my cousins.
Oh, fun.
So it's adorable. And like, of course, the scrapbooker saves it was like this, the card had this like gold embossed Mickey in a tuxedo on it. It's like cute, totally adorable. And they had written in chocolate on the plate Grand Californian and stuff. And it was just, and of course it's Disney, so the cookies were delicious, but it was just so neat, like all the little things like that that they did throughout the trip.
Going to the parks on my birthday is a dream of mine that I have.
Me too. I've never been on my birthday.
I haven't either, but here's my problem. My birthday falls around Thanksgiving.
My birthday falls around Christmas,
See?
So I know I don't want to go on my birthday because it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, mine is right after Christmas, and so it was the last weekend of all the Christmas displays, and so there was still some of the Christmas up, but it wasn't. The only day that was really crowded was the Sunday, because that was the last day of the Christmas decorations and the overlay. Mm-hmm. And so it was more crowded because I think everyone locally was kind of going in to see the last hurrah before they start taking it all down. But the rest of it was nice because it was after New Year's, after the main Christmas rush and craziness and stuff. So,
did you wear your button the whole time you were there?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, I'm here for the whole time. It's my birthday the whole week.
Yeah, I know every time we used to go for our anniversary a lot, Josh and I, and we would always get anniversary buttons because you do get just so many nice comments and, just people. I don't know, we got like perks or anything, but we just got so many people saying like happy anniversary, even just like guests, but of course the cast members. So, we always love the buttons.
When I was in Disney World in September with my parents, we were there over my dad's birthday, and I made him wear a button, and he didn't want to, but I made him. And then afterwards, he actually decided that it was okay, and he liked it because everybody told him happy birthday and used his name too, which is so special.
It is.
So fun thing. It's a dream of mine. Hopefully one of these years it'll come true. This year it happens that Thanksgiving falls almost a week after my birthday, and that usually doesn't happen. And so I'm going to try and swing it this year.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I think I need to.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay, so here's another one about just asking. One of my magic moments that happened just because I asked. I went a year ago, this past January, I went to Disneyland with one of my sisters for a few days, and then she flew out, and the rest of my family flew in. And when we were there, just the two of us, we went back to watch the fireworks and the Memories in You that was on the Small World at that time, the projection show that they did back there. And they had some areas that were sectioned off, and I was taking her picture, and a cast member came over. He was an older guy, and he was plainclothes, and he just said, "Can I take your picture together?" Which is something that they've started doing the last couple of years, and I love.
Yeah.
That they'll, ask you if you're taking a picture of someone else, if you want to be in the picture. And so he asked us that, and we said, sure. So he took a picture of the two of us together. And then I just started visiting with him and was like, what's the seating for? And he was telling me that he was with Disney, not Vacation Club, something else. Anyway. And they were just trying to see, what's available for people, what are some things that maybe they should promote that they hadn't thought of before. And then I noticed this section that was for American Sign Language. And so I said, are there going to be interpreters here tonight? And my foreign language that I did in college was sign language. And so he said, well, it doesn't look to be very crowded. Really?
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Can't remember any of it, but
I can remember some of it. But if I actually have been in situations where I've had to use it and I can get by. So I asked, are there going to be interpreters here tonight? And he didn't know. And so we sat there and visited some more. And then finally some people came over that were interpreters. And so I said, I'd really like to sit over there. And I said, can I sit over there? I said, we're not deaf. I said, but I do know sign language. Do you think they would let us? And he's like, yeah, it's not crowded. There's only one person sitting in there. And so he's like, just go over and ask them. So I did. I went over and asked the interpreters, and they said, absolutely. So we went in and sat down, and we were watching. So we ended up being there for the fireworks. I mean, there was a parade. We saw a whole bunch of stuff there, a parade. And then after that, there ended up being the fireworks and the projection show. And to be there and watching the parade and then seeing the sign language, which is a language that I love. And I just started bawling because it's Disney, it's sign language, and it was so magical for me. And then to top it off, when my daughter came, she has been taking sign language in high school and is a much better signer than I was after, several years of sign language in college. And she came, and so a couple nights later we came back and watched it again with those same interpreters, and they sat and visited with her in ASL, going back and forth. And then to see my daughter doing that, and then to watch the parade again with the interpreters, it was just amazing. Coming full circle for me. It was totally amazing and very emotional. I did not expect to cry. But
I'm crying a little bit right now.
It was really just amazing because it's two things that I'm passionate about coming together, kind of like scrapbooking and Disney all coming together. It's so exciting.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So just ask because you never know. Stephanie,
awesome.
Wait, Britt, you're next.
Oh,
Britt.
Yeah. Okay, I have more from the Year of a Million Dreams, but I think I'm going to skip those because we've talked about the Year of a Million Dreams a lot. Okay, so in February of 2010, we went on another big family trip. You see this as a theme with us. When we go, we all go. And my brother brought his, at the time, girlfriend. And we knew that he wanted to somehow plan some sort of proposal there, like that he wanted to propose. But he didn't really know how. There are a lot of ideas like online and stuff and of things you can like either pay to do or, whatever. But he didn't really want that. He wanted something really extra magical and special. And so we had heard when he got there, he kind of kept like going away for a long time. Like he'd make some excuse to be gone for a while on like the first day. And it was the first day they had ever been to Disneyland together. And so his girlfriend is a little bit annoyed that he keeps like leaving, but it's because he's going to ask and talk to cast members and stuff. And so through some planning and talking to cast members, we learned about this really special cast member who kind of makes dreams makes dreams happen for families who like special families who are at the park. And so her name is Magic Pat. That's what everyone calls her. And I guess now we've seen her on since then we've seen her on every trip we've gone on. And she like it's crazy. She like remembers us and says hi to us, and it's weird because I'm sure she helps hundreds of families, and I don't know how she remembers everybody, but I guess now last time we were there, we asked about her, and she either isn't working with Disneyland anymore or she's not in the same job. She's somewhere else. So she doesn't do this anymore. So anyway.
So don't go asking for Magic Pat.
You can. I mean, you could try. Maybe she's back. I don't know. But Magic Pat is awesome. And so they found out about Magic Pat, and Magic Pat wanted to make their engagement really magical, but she also said she wanted to make the day magical for our whole family. And we were like, okay, we didn't know. I personally didn't know much of what was going on because he was trying to keep it kind of a secret from everybody. So he and my brother were kind of the ones who were the masterminds. Anyway, Magic Pat was incredible. She pretended to find our family while we were by the carousel, and she pretended to notice my brother had on his gold Mickey ears from the 50th anniversary, which was several years before that. And she sort of pretended to notice his ears and be impressed that he still had them. And so she's like, you know what, I'm going to make your day magical. So she gave us all these passes to go to the front of all these lines. And she walked us around the exits of, Peter Pan and Finding Nemo. And she took us on all of these rides, just like one after another. It was pretty incredible. And then she gave us like VIP seating for the parade. She gave us passes to go through the exit of Small World. And then she gave us these papers that was like a scavenger hunt that you look at and find things on the ride.
Wow.
It was really fun. And then she's like, well, I have to go help this other family, but here are some more passes to use throughout the rest of the day. And then if you want to come back tonight, you can have, I'll set you up with special seating for the fireworks. They will get you a private boat on Storybook Land canal boats, and you can watch the fireworks from the canal boats.
Wow.
Yeah, we were
Very
like,
cool.
Yeah, we were like dying. We're like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. And my family has been to Disneyland so many times, but we have never had like that time where your family gets chosen for anything, or your family is, treated to special VIP service, or, this was like for sure our first big experience feeling like we were somebody special at Disneyland,
Right.
So we were all like so excited. And so we, all along, my brother had been telling his girlfriend that, because the first night they were there, sorry, this is turning into a long story. The first night they were there, she was sort of hoping that, because we were watching the fireworks in front of the castle that first night, and she was hoping that he was going to propose then. But like right as the fireworks were about to end, he like starts telling her about how he has this appointment with the ring guy that my brother knows in LA, and that they're going to go ring shopping on Tuesday. And so she thinks he doesn't even have a ring. So she's devastated because she's thinking he's going to propose to me at Disneyland. But then he makes up this big story about how he doesn't even have a ring.
To throw her off the trail.
It worked like a charm because she did not see this coming at all. Because she thought he didn't even have a ring. So we go throughout our whole wonderful magical day, and we have so many people that we actually have to split into 2 boats. So Josh's family is in one boat, we're in the boat with my brother. So,
so you go with all your in-laws too. You're not just going with your side of the family. You're going with Josh's family too.
Sometimes.
Wow.
A lot of
How
times
many people are on this trip?
A lot.
Wow.
I'll put a picture of our group shot from this trip. We have this little group where we would do these little emails of something from Disneyland. Anyway, it's a long story, but it turned into where everybody wanted to go together. So we just made these huge trips where we don't all hang out the whole time together, but we have one day where we're really together for one day, and then everyone kind of does their own thing on the other days.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just because my family really likes Josh's family and Josh's family likes my family. Awesome. And so we all just want to go. I don't know.
It's awesome.
It just works out that way. But it is a ton of people. And so anyway, we're on our little private boat, and the place that they want to stop and have us watch the fireworks is right in front of the little castle on the Storybook Land Canal boat ride. But we can't really see the fireworks. So we're can we move down a little bit? Can we go down? And they're sure. So they take us down to where we're kind of parked the boat in front of where Agrabah is, and the song, A Whole New World song is playing softly in the background, and the fireworks are going off on either side of us because they come up from behind the park and then also right by the castle. So we're kind of surrounded by fireworks, and it was just so magical and so incredible. And during the fireworks, we were videoing, and so I have this cute video of everyone's looking at the fireworks, and you can only see people's faces, when the fireworks are going off, because it's totally dark on Storybook Land Canal boat rides. And the fireworks go off, and my brother looks right at the camera and gives a little wink, because he knows what's coming. And then he gets down in the middle of the boat, kneels down and asks her to marry him, and pulls out the ring, and she's just so shocked, and everybody cheers. And then Magic Pat had set up this little bag that the driver of the boat had that we didn't know about, that had bubbles, where everybody got a little container of bubbles so we could blow bubbles. And then she had bride and groom ears for them, so they put those on. And then she gave them this little gift that were Mickey sugar cubes that had a little card on it saying "Best wishes, love, Magic Pat." And she went above and beyond what we ever thought we would get for a proposal for them. And it was unbelievable. I mean, there's no better proposal story, I swear. And so we ride back around to the end, and they get off, and everyone's taking pictures and cheering, and it was so awesome. And
I want her job.
I know. That's the thing. As I said, if she has the best job in the whole world, because she helped our family, with a proposal, but she's also helping families. The other family she said she was helping that day was a family whose dad was very ill, and they were kind of probably there for the last time together as a family. And so she was just making their whole day really special and doing all these things for them. And I was like, what a rewarding job. How awesome is that? And I guess she said she sort of made the job herself. She kind of was doing the things on her own, and Disney saw her doing it and was like, okay, this needs to be your job. And so she still worked as a cast member in Fantasyland. We would always see her giving tours on Storybook Land Canal boats. And so she was not a corporate person or anything like that. She was just a Fantasyland ride operator. Wow. But she had extra special tasks that she would perform throughout the day. So it was awesome. I love Magic Pat.
That is an incredible story.
I know. She really just was. It blew our minds, and it was so fun that she not only wanted to make it special for them, but that she wanted to do this whole day for our family. It was so awesome.
For everybody that was with you. That's really incredible.
Yep. We were very, very grateful. So it was an awesome story, and it was cute because they had little tickets that are, kind of those, I don't know if you've seen them before, that their cast members give you to return to a ride to go. Yeah. And it said private Storybook Land boat, fireworks on it. That's what she wrote on it. And that's what helped the cast members to know that we were the ones for that, that she had already set up for that. And when we went to get on the boats, the guy handed the tickets back to Josh, my husband, and not to Scotty and Audra, who are getting engaged. And so Josh turns to me with these tickets, these really cute tickets, and is like, we're going to use these for something. And so we actually put them in a shadow box with a picture of them getting engaged and stuff and gave it to them for their wedding. And it was really sweet. And they did not know we had those tickets anymore.
Oh,
they thought we just turned them in and lost, didn't have them anymore. But we had those tickets that we could give them after. And they were so surprised that we still had them. So that was awesome too.
That's a scrapbooking husband for you right there.
Well, and that's what I love about Disney is that they understand that we want to save this stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we just lucky we were the ones standing there that they handed them to, and we were just like, oh, thanks.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It was just all around an amazing, magical day. Definitely hands down the most amazing day we've ever had at the parks, and probably ever will have. So
that is magical for sure.
Yep. It was awesome.
Okay, Stephanie, do you have another one to share with us?
Yeah. We've also spent a couple of anniversaries down at the park, and it coordinated with a work trip that I had, and so it was not a bad place to spend your anniversary. And so again, we got the buttons, and so when you have the buttons on, they're especially when you get the Photopass pictures, they'll do all the photos, and then of course they always want one of you like kissing. Mm-hmm. So this one trip, I knew that I was going to do this CD, and it was this was in 2007, I guess. So it was before they were doing the plus, which I am now so going to do. Hearing about that, I'm like all over that. So I knew I was going to buy the CD. So I was kind of like, load that thing up with pictures. And when I got home, I was putting all the different embellishments and stuff on. So it was just making more and more pictures to make it a better deal. And so, of course, they always have the pictures of, at least one at each place of us kissing. And we also, I made reservations because my husband is a big foodie. So we ate at the Napa Rose, and I booked the chef's table, which is really cool because the executive chef comes up and talks with you, and you can you can either pick off the menu, or you can have just talk with him, and he'll make you something special based on what you like. But because we had just flown in and had a crazy day, my husband's like, I just want to go simple. So, but even then, it fabulous. And of course, they did this special dessert tray, where they're writing happy anniversary and the chocolate fondant and stuff. But what I did with all of the pictures, I took them and threw them into Photoshop and kind of altered the coloring to kind of make them look almost like they were pencil drawn.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's a poster that I had seen somewhere called the Disney Kiss, where it's all the different characters from the different movies. Like there's Snow White kissing Dopey's forehead, and of course the prince with Snow White waking her up, and Sleeping Beauty, and
all the famous kisses.
All the famous Disney kisses. Mm-hmm. So I kind of liked, and it was all done, like they were all done in pencil drawings and stuff. So I kind of made a layout to mimic that. So that was one of my favorite.
Yeah, Disney
kind of the hybrid
layout.
Girl. Yeah, kind of a hybrid girl. I like to play with the paper, but I'll do like processing and stuff on the computer.
That's perfect.
Okay, we have to put that layout in our show notes.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
So it was fun to I like to get an inspiration from somewhere and see how I can tweak it to fit what I want it to do. So but it's awesome to be there. Everybody is, wishing you happy anniversary and how long have you been married. And so it's fun. Makes you feel like a kid.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I think. Sounds wonderful. Oh, my turn again? Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, this one is, let's see. Okay, when we were in Disney World, same year, the year of the Magic Drinks, 2007, we were down there February 2007, and it was let's see, we were there for a Pirates and Princess party, which I've said before is my favorite party ever, and they need to bring it back. But my son wanted to meet Jack Sparrow. Pirates had just come out, the very first Pirates movie. And so we waited in line for 2.5 hours to meet Captain Jack Sparrow.
My gosh. So you're one of those people. I always wonder who these people are that wait 2.5 hours to meet a character. And now I know.
Well, when your son says to you, the one thing I want to do while I'm here is meet Jack Sparrow, you're willing, because Jack Sparrow, you couldn't meet him any other way at that time. The only way was during the parties. And so, you're going to sit and wait because you don't want to miss it.
Oh, my goodness.
And so my daughter and my husband, my older daughter and husband, would go and ride rides and then come back and check on us, and go and ride rides and come back and check on us. And I had the baby at the time with me, and she was 6 months old. And right when we got up to the front of the line, my husband and daughter happened to come and check on us. And we weren't trying to have them come and, jump in line or whatever, but it just worked out that they came to check on us and we were walking in. And so they came in with us, and I handed my husband the baby, and the kids were getting autographs and we were taking pictures, and the Photopass photographer was doing a great job. And all of a sudden, the character handler looks at me and points, and I look over, and my baby girl that's 6 months old is flirting like crazy with Jack Sparrow. And just wanting to love on him like you would never believe. And I was shocked. And he was smitten with her. And so he ended up giving her a gold coin from the stash because he was totally smitten with her. And he was just holding her hands, and she was grabbing onto his hands and just reaching for him and lunging for him and trying to have him hold her. And it was just the cutest thing ever. And the Photopass photographer caught all of it on picture. So it was, it was totally magical and wonderful that photographer was clicking like she was so that she could get some of it. So it was wonderful and amazing.
That's so fun.
Yeah.
Jack Sparrow, I don't know how he was when you met him, but we met him a couple times at Disneyland where he's just like, he's like how his character is. Like, he's almost a little bit difficult. Because he's just all over the place and trying to steal my rings off my hand. And, he's funny. Like, it was definitely memorable moments.
And it was difficult for him to figure out, I think, how to have this baby loving him and stay in character.
I bet. I'm trying to picture it myself going, I wonder what that was like.
Because he's like, here, I'll share something with you, and gave her a coin because he just was smitten with her because she loved him. She totally loved him. And that was the only character that she did that with that whole trip.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah. So funny.
Oh my gosh.
So, Britt, it's your turn.
Funny. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to go with kind of more of a smaller one that's it's special to my heart. So I don't know. Hopefully it will translate as I tell the story. But so I went to Disneyland in July, which we don't normally go in the summer, but we were visiting my brother and his wife were there for the summer working. And so we went to visit them. And so we just had one day at Disneyland. And we were there with their 3-month-old daughter, who is now turning like 6. So this was a long time ago. But she was 3 months old. She was teeny tiny. And we just had so much fun taking this tiny little baby around to Disneyland. But we were walking down Main Street when we first got there, and we got there right when it opened. And we're walking down and it's kind of quiet, and we're getting about down to the hub. And I said to my brother and his wife, I said, this is it. This is that, this, nothing beats this. Like, this feeling of getting to Disneyland and having that magical, like, feeling just overwhelm you. Like, I said, can you feel it? Like, this is it. It doesn't get better than this. And my brother turns around with his first little baby. She's the first baby in our family, she's the first granddaughter, and he turns around and she's in his little baby Bjorn right on his tummy, and he turns around and he goes, "Oh yeah, wait till you have this," and points to his baby. And I was like, "Oh, you're right. It does not get better than that." And it just made me so excited to someday be there with my baby, and I thought, it was so adorable to see my brother just be so enamored with his little girl in Disneyland. It was just this magical little memory that I have. And then fast forward to 2012, several years later, and we were back at Disneyland for my brother's 30th birthday. And my sister-in-law did this really special idea that she made a book. I think she did it on Shutterfly or maybe Blurb, I can't remember, where she took people's memories and stories of their favorite stories of Christian, my brother, at Disneyland. So everybody emailed her, what is one of your favorite stories of Christian at Disneyland? And then we used the book almost like a map. So throughout the day, we went to each of those places and read the story in that location.
Wow.
So yeah, it was really a magical day. It turned out to just be an incredible day. And when it was my turn to do my story, mine was one of the first because it was on Main Street. And so I read that story about him turning around and pointing to Eden and saying, this was, wait till you have this. And I read him that story standing in the very place that he had said that to me, and was able to say, now I know, because now I have Scarlett, and I can tell you that you were totally right. It doesn't get better than taking our babies to Disneyland. And I just, we talked about how wonderful that day was that we had together when we just had the one baby, and now look at all the babies we have, and we're taking them all to Disneyland. It was a magical kind of bookends to this little story.
Full circle, right?
Yeah. And then just that whole day with that book was really very special. And I think it was 30 memories because he was turning 30. And so some people had more than one story. Like my mom had sent in a few stories, and my parents weren't there, but if those of us who were there, we read our own stories to him, but it was neat. It was a neat day. And that just being able to tell him that memory and be there with him on that day was really special.
That is a really fun idea. Fun idea.
Such a good idea. I don't even remember how it came up. I think we were just kind of brainstorming, she and I, about what should we do for his 30th, what would be a special thing to do. And I can't even remember how it came up, but
so is someone that your parents weren't there did you read their stories, or did you skip them? Or did
no. We read them.
Okay.
I think Christian read them out loud to everybody. He wasn't allowed to look through the book and see the because there's pictures of each memory. Mm-hmm. If there was a picture. If there wasn't a picture from that memory, then there was just other pictures. But my picture was a picture of us on that trip that we had, and so when we got to that place, he was allowed to turn the page and read the next story. Yeah. So it was fun. It was fun to use the book as sort of a plan of the day, and if there was a ride involved with the story, then they rode that ride, and it was fun.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
Very cute.
It was special. I think it was really magical for him too, because he didn't know. It was a surprise, and yeah, it was fun.
That was this past September, yeah?
Yep. That was our past September trip, and we it was just the one day we did that. We were there to celebrate his birthday, but we just had the one big special day, and we all had matchy shirts. We're those people. We like to have the matchy shirts and stuff. So we had the shirts that were for his birthday, and they were special for him.
Fun.
Yeah,
that's
a
lot
magical
of fun.
day.
Okay, Stephanie, right? I'm yes. Totally confused which order we're going in now. I'm like, I don't know whose turn it is.
Whoever, somebody go.
Yeah, go ahead, Stephanie.
This is going to go way back to when I was 5. So in a completely different century. So when I was 5, my parents and I were down in Palm Springs for, I can't remember what it was like a convention or something. And we had just arrived, and my dad got called back to work that they needed him. And so my mom was not too happy. So my dad was brilliant and checked us into the Disneyland hotel before heading back to deal with whatever we had to deal with, and then came around and met up with us.
Smart man.
And so I remember the part of the hotel where we stayed at no longer, it exists. It's just downtown Disney. Because I remember, I think they called them the villas, and it was not the towers. They had kind of a section of the hotel that was only maybe 2 or 3 stories, and it was walking distance to the monorail station. So that tells you I was probably
the monorail went right almost in it, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. It was right because they had the monorail cafe, which was one of the restaurants and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, and it was always so much fun to, stay at a hotel when you're a kid and have room service. And I just remember it's so silly, but I remember sitting there eating my dinner in our hotel, on the little patio, looking out over the pool and everything, and being handed the little Mickey Mouse menu to tick off what you wanted for breakfast to hang on your door. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. I'm sitting there eating my sandwich for dinner, picking out if I want to have Mickey Mouse pancakes or a waffle the next morning for breakfast. I'm like, who does that? Who sits
magical.
Just plans their breakfast while they have their grilled cheese sandwich in their hand.
That's so funny.
I just thought it was
cute.
It was a really fun trip with my mom and I, and then my dad came down. I came back a couple of days later when he needed to. But it was, although the one thing somewhere there is a photo of me not too happy to have my picture taken with Mickey Mouse. Probably the only one in which I'm crying in the photo. Because the one day that we were in Palm Springs, I got completely fried. I mean, I have very fair skin, so I am just bright red. And so the poor characters, they can't really see you. And so he gives me this big old hug, which when you're completely sunburned is not what you want to have.
No.
So yeah, so I felt, looking back, I'm like, oh, the poor character, they can't see you. So yeah, but I thought it was just so cool to be staying at the Disneyland Hotel, and I love that hotel. I think I'm biased. It's just such a neat hotel, and they've redone it a couple of times now. And but it was just a lot of fun to stay there. And I've stayed there another time where we were in the kind of those buildings right near the monorail where you could just roll out of your room right onto the monorail.
How fun. I had never stayed on site at Disneyland until this past fall in October. I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel, and it was a lot of fun.
I never have. Someday.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of great, some of the hotels around it are actually closer.
Yeah. And cheaper.
Oh, definitely. But it's you can walk from some of the hotels quicker than you can from the Disneyland Hotel.
Yep, that's for sure.
For sure, yeah. Okay, my last magic memory is actually one that I just thought of when Stephanie was talking. It reminded me of one of my own memories. Well, it's not even... it's an experience, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. For my birthday this past year, this past November, my mom sent me a little box, and I opened it up, and inside was a gold Mickey Mouse, and his little hand bobs up and down and waves, and it's so cute. And so she put on the card, "Call me, there's a story to this." And so I called her, and she actually bought that pin on my very first trip to Disneyland. Yeah, when I was 9.
Oh, that is so cute.
Isn't that neat? And she saved it, and now it's mine. She gave it to me. And so that, to me, was a magical thing that my mom saved out all of those years and had it. I was 9, so that's a lot. 31 years almost, 30 years. I'll be 40 this fall. Yeah, so she had kept it a really long time, and I was just over the moon that she had kept it and that I got it now. So
yeah, I wish I had something that I bought I bought on Scarlett's first trip that I could give her someday.
Well, you told
30 years later.
You told me it's never too late, right?
It's true. It's never too late to start those things.
Yes.
That's a great idea and such a cute memory for you, too.
Yes. Fun. It's a fun thing, and it'll be a fun thing to pass down, too. So.
Yeah. How neat.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Do you have a last story for us, Britt?
Yes. I'm trying to decide which one to do. Okay. This one I'll tell because I think it's kind of... it was one of those lucky dream Year of a Million Dream stories. I know we've told a lot of those, but that's okay.
It was a good thing.
Sorry?
It was a good thing. That year was a good thing.
It was a good thing. And so, okay, so we knew, like Stephanie was saying, we saw those people that were in the blue and they kind of had this little fanny pack thing on. Yes. They were the dream squad, right? And so we saw the people, and there were like 3 of them kind of gathered around in Frontierland. And we're like, okay, we're going to hang out around here a little bit, you know? So we start hanging around.
They don't just randomly stand anywhere.
No, they don't.
You know, it's not like they're having their coffee break. And so they're up to something.
Right. And so we were standing around, and we actually ended up, I think we came up with some excuse, some question to ask them. I can't remember what, but we're like, you know, we ended up talking to them, and we were there during just this one day. We had a day trip there because we were out in Southern California for Josh's grandpa's 90th birthday, but we happened to have an extra day, so we just had one day at Disneyland with just Josh and I and his sister, which was super fun. And it was like 2 days after Josh's birthday. So we're like, we're kind of celebrating my husband's birthday. And they're like, oh, that's so great. Well, here, how about, you know, would you like this pass to go and have VIP seating at Billy Hill and the Hillbillies? And you get to sit in the little box and, you know, whatever. It was at like 11:15. And we're like, oh, great, thanks. But we were, I mean, I have to admit, we were not like super, super excited about that because we were like,
Billy Hill and the Hillbillies.
Yeah, we were like, well, anybody can see Billy Hill and the Hillbillies. Like, we don't care about sitting in the box so much, you know. We were like, oh, well, that's still really fun, you know, that we got to have that. And so but then after we got the pass, we looked at kind of our schedule, and we realized we were actually going to be across at California Adventure at that time, just for what we had going on that day. And so we're like, we're not even going to be able to use it. So we went back and found the guy, and his name was, I still remember, his name was Jeff. And we're like, oh, sorry, Jeff, we're not going to be able to use these passes after all because we're going to be at California Adventure. He's like, oh, well, since we already gave it to you, how about you guys give that to somebody else and make their magical moment happen? And we're like, okay, like that's fun. So he's like, you need to look for a group that has between 2 and 4 people, and they have to, you know, they need to be able to get to Billy Hill at that time. So we're like, all right. So we start looking for a group or somebody, a small group, and we see this couple, this adult couple, and they just seem to be kind of by themselves. And so we're like, should we ask them? Okay, let's ask them. So we like go up tentatively to these people, and we're like, hey, do you want, you know, we got these passes, but we aren't able to use them. Would you like to go to Billy Hill and the Hillbillies and sit? And they were like, oh my gosh, we love Billy Hill. Like, they were so excited. And so we were like, oh, good, this is the right group. You know, we picked the right people. And they were way more excited than we were about it. But they were like, we're here just together, the 2 of us today, because our kids are all off doing something else. And we thought, well, let's just go to Disneyland, just the 2 of us. And we were like, oh, that's so adorable and so lucky that you can just do that. And so they were just there having this little day together. And we like were able to give them this little magical thing and make their day special. And it was just so fun to like pay that forward to them, you know. But then that's like where the story does not end. So wow. we're on the canoes. We decided to ride the canoes. So we're riding the canoes, and up on the banks of the rivers of America, Jeff was like standing on the railing, like, and he saw us on the canoes. I don't remember if we saw him or not. I don't think we saw him, but he like saw us on the canoes. And so he went down to where the canoes exit, and he waited for us. And we were exiting off the canoes, and he's like, hey guys, I saw you on the canoes. We're like, hi. And he's like, I just wanted to see if you were able to give that away, and if, you know, so we told him the story about giving it away and how fun it was to like kind of have their job for, you know, a minute. Yeah. And how great that was. And he's like, well, have you guys ridden Splash Mountain yet? And we're like, no. And it was like one of those hot summer days where the line's a million years long. And he's like, well, come on. And so he walked us up the exit and put us on Splash Mountain and told us, you know, said happy birthday to Josh and said, have a great day. And that was our little bonus thing. Nice. So we got to go up the exit and ride that together, and it was so fun. And it was just funny that he like was standing up there and saw us on the canoes. Like, I don't know how he spotted us, but then he found us. So
that's
it was
really
fun.
Funny.
Yeah. So we got like to give our magic away and then get a little magic back too. So
I think that those jobs like that, the Year of the Million Dreams, that would have been, to be a dream team member would have been so fun.
You imagine?
yeah.
How special.
What a great job.
Definitely.
No,
Yeah.
there's like no better job. I can't think of a
really.
Because you'd have people that are just happy
Yep.
all day.
It's gonna make dreams come true all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great story. Okay, Stephanie, do you have a last one?
Yeah. Kind of. Oh gosh. I guess it was about 9 years ago. It was right before I got married. I went down over spring break with my cousins to Disneyland. They surprised me for my birthday and gave me tickets for when they went down. And then I got to meet up with a good friend of mine who was one of my bridesmaids. And we actually drove up together because we were going to have my bridal shower at that following weekend. So I got to spend the day with her in Disneyland, and she's like, I'm being a bad mom. I'm not bringing my children. So it was just the two of us right around the park, and we were just having a great time. We had gone to college together, reminiscing and talking about different things. And it was right when they had brought back doing the electrical parade, which is my favorite ever, and was like so sad when they took it away from Disneyland, because when I was a kid, we used to have an event down in the LA area over Memorial Weekend, and we ended up going to Disneyland on the Sunday of Memorial Weekend, which we had it down to a science. This is before, all of the touring plans or Ride Max. We'd be at the gate at 8. It would be a bunch of moms and the kids, and moms would go and wait to get breakfast, and we'd go ride on Pirates of the Caribbean, and if they were still in line for breakfast, we would go on to Thunder Mountain. We'd come out, and our pancakes are ready. And then starting at around 5, we would, camp out for a seat on on Main Street for the parade. And it was before cell phones, so it was, everyone would just kind of come back and take turns camping out for this huge section. So, total love the parade. And so, I was just kind of reminiscing with my friend about different things about, that memory of being there as a kid with the parade and having been there with my mom and stuff. And when, I chalked it up to having just had like this reminiscing with my friend and getting ready to go, get married. The parade started, the Blue Fairy comes down, to start it off. I am crying like a baby. I was like, oh, okay, it's totally because, I'm reminiscent. A couple years later, when I went with my husband for the very first time, we watched the parade. Darn it, if it doesn't happen again. I was like, okay, clearly it wasn't that moment.
It's just that parade.
It's just that darn parade. So I love, I have the electrical parade music as my ringtone on my phone.
That's awesome.
It's your special show.
That's my special little thing. So I love the electrical parade.
Are they going to bring it back?
I've heard rumors. I've heard rumors that it's coming back. Yeah.
Well, don't they do it during the summer in California Adventure?
Well, they didn't last year because there was so much construction and stuff.
Yeah. I can totally understand.
They used to have it there. So I don't know. Because
I think, last year the summer was just crazy with Disneyland.
Oh, yeah. Well, with the opening and everything.
With Cars Land.
Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of the summer before that.
You want to redirect traffic? I don't think so.
Right. Well, and now the parade route is so long that electric parade, man, those performers would be performing for forever. Because that parade route now.
It's always so funny with, you
so long.
Towards the end, depending, if you're at the end, there would be a couple of performers where the battery packs have clearly started to dwindle, and there'd be one strand sometimes out.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That's why I am with Fantasmic. I cry every stinking time at Fantasmic. I can't not cry at Fantasmic. It's the same thing.
That's funny. World of Color does it for me.
See, everybody has their own little special, thing. So,
yes, but I do love the Main Street Electrical Parade, and got to see it twice while I was down in Disney World. And it's just because that was the parade that was going on my first visit to the parks when I was 9.
Yeah.
And so that has special magic for me, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's why people still love it today, is because they have those childhood memories of it. And it's magical without that. But
it's just so neat. And the music, everything about it is just so cool. And the whole idea of, that it's
lit.
Just the lights and everything.
Yeah. It like makes something about that parade makes you feel like a kid. I don't know what it is. Like it makes me have like a little childhood like giggle. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's good.
It is.
Good stuff.
It is. I don't care where it is as long as it's somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't want them to just not have it. So.
Yep. See, when they sent Electric Light Parade to Disney World, I feel like they should have sent Spectro Magic to Disneyland. Wouldn't that have been a good trade?
Yeah.
Because I like Spectro Magic. I had seen it. I saw it for the first time on our first Disneyland or Disney World trip, and I liked it. I thought it was really. I don't know. I liked it.
I'm not even for sure knowing what that is, but hey.
Spectro Magic?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a light it's similar to the Main Street Electrical Parade, but it's a little different. But it's a night parade and it's all lit up and it's neat. I like the music from it. It's different. It's definitely has like a different look and feel, but I like it a lot. And so when I heard they were sending like the Main Street Electrical Parade to Disney World, I'm like, well, send Spectrum Magic to Disneyland because then there can be a night parade here too. But no,
I'm not sure that I've ever seen it when we were there. Yeah, I'm not sure because when we were there in 2000 actually, was it 1999? We were there in 1999. Main Street Electrical Parade was there then, and then when we were there this last time, it was there too. And I think that it was even there when we went in 2006.
Oh, that's weird. So yeah, it may be I know that it's just kind of
back and forth.
Yeah, it's their night parade when Main Street Parade isn't there. Okay. But that was what it was when it was not there when I went in 2010, but when we went in 2009, it was there. So I liked it. It's cute. It's got that magical, because it's nighttime, it's all lit up and, Ariel's in it, and I don't know. I like it. It's good.
Yes, I like it.
It's got some cute characters, but it would be fun to have something like that come to Disneyland, but I don't know, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, I'll put a link in our show notes to Wikipedia's entry for Main Street Electrical Parade so everyone can see the history behind it and the dates of when it was where.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yep, good.
Because it's got some history for sure. It said it started running in 1972. That's why everyone's seen it when they were a child. I don't have memories of seeing it as a child. I'm sure I did, but I don't have that memory. But Josh does. He remembers sitting on Main Street, on a curb, watching it with his grandpa. He has that memory, and so it's special. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do some picks with pixie dust. Britt, do you want to go first?
Sure. I almost forgot about our picks with pixie dust. We've been talking so much. Okay. So my pick is from wendyriggins.com, and she's a photographer. And this has been going around on Pinterest, so you might have seen it on Pinterest. But it's a fairy tale baby photo shoot where this little baby had a 9-month-old and her 9-month-old photo shoot, and her mom wanted to do fairy tale theme, and so her mom spent tons of time and I'm sure money to set up these really adorable sets. And I think the photographer helped as well, but the mom was kind of, I think, the mastermind behind it all. Where there's a whole bunch of different sets. And it's like a series. So the first one starts out and the little girl's the little 9-month-old baby is looking at a storybook. And then there's the little baby dressed as Snow White sitting next to a basket of apples with a big mirror in the background. And the next one is she's dressed like Wendy, and there's a shadow of Peter Pan on the wall, and she's sitting next to a little dog with a nurse's cap on, like Nana, and next to a bed. And then the next one is she's dressed like Alice, and there's this very elaborate, adorable kind of cards and Mad Hatter set in the background, and next to a toadstool. And then my favorite one is she's dressed like Cinderella, but in rags Cinderella, on the floor with bubbles all over the floor with a bucket and little mice. Cute. So cute. Very and then there's cute. One where she's Red Riding Hood. So it's not Disney, but she's Red Riding Hood, and it's in the snow, and there's a a wolf. I think it's a dog, but a wolf that's next to her. And then the last one is the baby sleeping with a blanket over her, and there's a book next to her, and it says, "And they lived happily ever after." It is like the most precious photos. It's one of those photo shoots where it's like I almost love it too much to the point where I'm too jealous of it that I don't have it of my child. So I can't, like, I almost want to hate it because I love it so much. Like, I hate it. I love it so much, you know? So it's...
Why didn't I think of that?
Yes, exactly.
Right? And, like, have some amazing photographer be able to do it. So it is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then there's a lot of extra shots that the photographer posted of this adorable baby. And she also gives links to some Etsy sites where she bought her costumes. And because I think that this went nuts and everybody loved him so much that this photographer's like, okay, I got to post more about this. So, yeah, anyway, it's a great little post and lots of information if you want to kind of try and recreate your own, or I don't know. I think it would be a huge task, but it's adorable.
I almost need to have another baby just so I can do it.
Yes. I need to have another baby girl so I can do this. I like to do it, but it's just, she's a little too big. It's sweet for a baby.
Yeah.
I guess Scarlett's not too old for it, but it's also a huge undertaking. Like, I don't know. It's a huge thing. Like, it's tons of setups. I mean, it must have taken forever to do all of this. So anyway, it's awesome. I'll link it up in the show notes, but.
Perfect. Thank you.
Stephanie,
do you have a pick?
Yes, I do. It is an idea book for doing Disney layouts. And it's called Divine Design and Direction, and it's the Disney edition. And it's from the whole kit and caboodle. I sent you the link because it's the whole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And the woman who did it is Andrea Hancock Deere. And what's awesome about it, there's about 60 layouts in the book. And there's color pictures of the layout and then directions. But there's also kind of this matrix that tells you, because a lot of them use Cricut cartridges. So what item on the cartridge, which cartridge, what item, how big, how many. So oh
wow.
It's basically like a recipe book.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, how would you create this layout? And so it looks like I don't know if it's a store where they had done these classes as kits and have made this book. And so they kind of do them in batches. So when I looked on the site, it looks like they've sold out of the most recent, but it's kind of the come back, keep checking. We're going to do another run. So, but yeah, it's great for if you need ideas on how to do, because like there's some, that it's the Animal Kingdom, which if you go to Disneyland, you can easily make that the Jungle Cruise, or
Right.
So it's a great place to get that starter idea, and
Perfect.
then how to, it's great for I can't think of anything, but I need an idea. So I've been really happy with it. So it's like, they say it's 60 Disney themed projects in nearly 200 pages of the idea book.
Wow. Is it an ebook, like a PDF?
No, you get the physical book and spiral bound. So so there's they have ones with character dining, Halloween party, Christmas themed, the different Disney World parks, Winnie the Pooh, the regular characters, just
That's so great.
all
stuff.
sorts of. And, some of them have the traditional, yellow, black, red, white, and others are more, themed like the Animal Kingdom or the Adventureland. And they have the cruise and cars and stuff. So all
Perfect.
Disney layouts all the time.
We love that. Perfect. Okay, my pick is actually a tweet that I got on Twitter because it was directed to me by Heather W., who's been on the show before. And she added me when she retweeted this so that I would for sure see it. And it is a picture of a cast member, a Photopass cast member, holding up a frame, and the Photopass photographers are now using frames that you can hold up in front of your family, so it looks like a photo booth kind of a setup thing, which I think is super fun. And
Cute.
yeah, this picture's in Hollywood Studios, and the frame that they're holding up is really big, so you could fit a good-sized family in it, but it looks like it's a frame with lights on it and stuff. It's really cute. So I'll link up to that original tweet so that you can see what the frame looks like.
So fun. Like, so it's basically like they have like a frame prop. Like,
Yeah.
that's so fun.
Isn't that fun? What a great idea, huh?
Yeah.
I'm like, why didn't they think of that sooner?
Yeah.
I know.
Because it's probably a pain to have Photopass people like walking around with props, but
Yeah.
it's a great idea. I'm so excited.
I know. Totally. I know. So, all right, let's go around one more time and remind everyone where to find each of us. Britt.
I am at britishdesigns.com, and that's where you'll be able to find my digital scrapbooking shop and my blog and all of that good stuff. And by the time this show comes out, we will have released our 4th week of Project Mouse products. This last Friday, we will have released, it's called, the bundle 4's name is A Day in the Park, and it's basically like a whole pack of daily journaling cards. Krista likes to call them like interview cards, where you like fill out your favorite things that happened that day and stuff like that. Just daily journaling memory cards, basically. And then also we did a ride card pack, a food card pack, and a word bits card a pack of things that kind of coordinates with the whole bundle. So that was our week of release this week. So that's what's new at britishdesigns.com.
Yay.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's super exciting. Okay, Stephanie.
You can find me at my Etsy store, which is Haining Made. And over at the Disney Scrappers ing board, I have my layouts posted with from the different trips, and I'm all done from my last one, so I need to go again.
You finished your whole trip?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was only a couple of days long, so it's not. It was only a weekend, so.
That's an accomplishment. I can never really do that, so I'm always amazed when people can do it. Good job.
Way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll go look at it. I've looked at several of your layouts, but I'd love to see it all together, the whole finished thing. So, okay, I wanted to mention really quickly that I made a mistake. The picture of the photo frame is at Epcot, not Hollywood Studios.
Oh,
So,
okay.
FYI.
So is that something they're just doing at Disney World, or do you think they're going to start doing it at Disneyland too?
Don't know. I haven't heard anything about it at Disneyland. I hope they start doing it at Disneyland.
I know.
Was there like an announcement, or was just this tweet that kind of like showed what it was
Tweet
going
from
on?
a cast member.
So it's not like official, like on the parks blog or anything like that.
Right.
Okay.
Because they don't always share Photopass stuff there.
No, they do not.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Okay, so I also wanted to mention our sponsor, the Capturing Magic apps, the iPhone apps. They are on sale still for a very limited time. The sale's almost, by the time the show airs, the sale will be almost over. So you'll want to hurry and grab those for just over 50% off if you've been thinking about it. I also have some videos that will have been posted on March 20th on the Capturing Magic blog that shows exactly what the apps do, if you've been wondering, and how to set your trip up, and then how to use them at the park, the best way to use them to navigate. So not navigate, but document, because they're not navigational apps. They're documenting apps. There's a difference. So anyway, grab those, and that's all. Yeah.
You didn't mention where you were at, Steph.
CapturingMagic.me. And also at thedailydigi.com. So if you're interested in learning about Photoshop or digital scrapbooking, that would be the place to go. So is that good? Is that all my places?
I think so.
TheDigiShow.com too, where we've got a digital scrapbooking podcast over there as well. So
If you just can't get enough of Steph's voice,
I'm really sorry if that's the case.
go listen to the Digi Show.
Yeah. So, okay. Thank you for being here, and we will see you next time where we will be capturing magic.